A Fantastic Woman, which is the Chilean entry for the foreign language film Oscar from Sebastian Lelio, who's the director of Gloria. Daniela Vega is Marina, who is a waitress and aspiring singer she's having a loving relationship with an older man called Orlando. And in the early scenes, we see her singing in a nightclub, and they dance and they drink, and then he takes her to dinner where he presents her with an envelope which should contain tickets, though he's mislaid the tickets, to a trip to see one of the seven wonders of the world, a wonderful waterfall. They go home, they clearly have this, passionate and full relationship, and then he collapses, as does her life. He's rushed to hospital, and the minute she gets to hospital, she starts being excluded. She's shut out of the emergency room in which he's being examined. The family arrive, and immediately they ban her from the funeral and from the wake, and they tell her that she has to move out of the apartment, and she has to return the car which she drove there in. And it becomes apparent that their major problem is that because she is a trans woman, that she is, as far as they're concerned, totally outside what they perceive as an acceptable version of normality. They keep using this word about normal. Her name is Marina, but they keep naming her wrongly. A police officer demands to see identification and looks at it very suspiciously. The son keeps calling her Marisa, getting her name wrong. At one point, the wife calls her Daniel. An awful lot but through it all, she is defiantly Marina. As she says, my name is Marina, a name which is echoed very specifically throughout the film, which incidentally I've seen twice now because I really enjoyed it first time round. And second time round, I was much more struck by the fact that name is echoed all the way. There's a huge poster in the bedroom of a stormy, powerful, raging sea. There's the fact that we begin with this shot of this waterfall. That is a motif which runs all the way through the film. And the film itself has got this very fluid, flowing form. It begins like a kind of classical romance, and then it turns into a quasi-murder mystery. But then there's an element of social realist, quasi-document. I've said quasi twice, sorry. Social realist sort of observational side to it. And then it begins to mutate into something which resembles a kind of Lynchian mystery. A key is found that leads us down a particular rabbit hole. And then there's a musical sequence, like a fantastical musical sequence, which incidentally, when we were talking about Guillermo del Toro's Shape of Water, one of the most wonderful moments in that film is when it breaks into song and it suddenly, and I love the fact that we're living in a moment in which films have recaptured the bravery to do that. Then, it is possible for a filmmaker. So I'm going to have a musical. The thing is now going to burst into song, because that's, for me, that's kind of one of the greatest special effects in a movie is when people start singing.
Don't you have a Michael Palin in your head saying, cut that out, we'll not have any singing while I'm here?
Well, I will now that you've said it.
From Holy Grail.
So thank you for doing that. So it's a very, very hard film to describe because it's deliberately kaleidoscopic. It has all these different elements. It has a brilliant central performance. It is written with compassion and played with great energy and shot with a real beauty, a really sort of seductive beauty that cinematically enfolds you. So while you're watching the film, you're really enjoying the cinematic experience of it. I thought it was terrific. It's called A Fantastic Woman. It won't be playing in every cinema, but it will be playing in your local art house or independent cinema. And it is really, really worth checking out because I thought it was great.